What's up guys, this is Just and welcome back to Space Engineers. This episode was cut in half due to my incompetence in recording it a bit too long, so I welcome you back to this episode where I just finished capturing a ship and then forgotten all about it. So, I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and I guess we'll just start off where we left. Alrighty then, we are back from wherever I was. I think I was capturing a ship. I have captured it. I think it's either despawned, which would be strange because I did grind out the control-y thingy, pilot's chair, and put it back, but I placed it behind an asteroid somewhere off next to where I found magnesium. Let me just go ahead and turn magnesium on. There it is. It's somewhere in, yeah, okay, it's somewhere in that direction. I used the asteroid over there, I think, to bash off the guns on the outside because I've installed this mod where, of course, it's not in there, it's in G, called the hacking computers or something like that. And that will allow me to hack the computers, or rather hack the ownership of the blocks, which should be a lot easier than, well, you know, manually going, converting everything. And since it's a storage ship, a cargo-containing ship, I'd like to use it for a project that I'm coming up with, or that is coming up. I shouldn't have flown over here because I wanted to show you this around the corner. That's not it. No, it's over here. This. I've just added this little sort of like surveyor's area. Or I guess this will be the place that manages all the arms here, because I've put the 3 computers that I'll need, because I want a lot more arms, so I'll need a lot more computers. But hey, there's some computers here, and I'll probably add more. For now, though, those 3 are just there as placeholders, but I'll probably have, I don't know, I guess about 6. I'd like to have 2 or at least 2 arms for gripping a ship and then holding it in place, or manipulating it, moving it about in space. And then 1 arm or maybe 2 arms for cutting it. Now, I had a look on the internet, and there are a lot of things I'm going to have to learn about to get these arms working. Or maybe I'm overstating it, but at least I have to watch a couple of tutorials. And so what I'm going to do is, this is where the arms will be, here and here and here. Maybe I'll move them about once I figured out a bit more about them, but I'm going to have to play around in creative, play around on this station, and finally get them working. So what we're going to do is, in between this episode and the next, I will get the arms working, and then I'll show you them in the next episode. For now, this is what I've done here, this cool overseer's area, which I actually really like. I need to connect it to the interior of the station, but so far I'm quite happy with it. So the next thing I did was go ahead and come closer to finishing this sort of area. I've just put the frame around, and that'll make it much easier to drag the rest of the framework in. So I've got to pull it all the way back here, and then I'm going to have to dig a channel to put in the works for having this ship slide down as it's being built, which I still think might be a silly waste of time, but we'll see how it goes, because I really would like having that. Maybe I'll have it come in from the side, since this is a bit of a straighter wall than this one necessarily is. So I've built this, and finally, well, I haven't built all this, I've just started building it. We've run out of plates, which seemed like something that was impossible to me. But I've also found magnesium, and it also happens to be next to some iron. It's very close to us, so I'm going to go ahead and drift over to it. I'm going to mine out the magnesium and also get some iron so that I can give it to my refineries. Which reminds me, I also did something to our refineries. I've been annoyed for a while that the refineries were not only refining what I told them to. I only wanted them to refine 1 mineral each, so that we'd always have a supply of every single mineral, and that we'd always have a refinery in place to do a mineral if we wanted it to do. Or I guess it's just a metal, not a mineral. So I fixed that by putting, what are they called? Sorters on the bottom. But I don't know if that's worked, because I can actually still move things in between them. So I'll go back and check while this is going, because this thing does it mostly automatically. I'm going to go ahead and turn this stuff on. The drill's at the front, which isn't too loud because I'm a little bit further back. And I'm going to let it push through. There's also ice and stuff in here. We've got fuel for a while. And I turn the back jets on. And this guy should start working through this asteroid now. It has a... Yeah, I think I can still see this guy from a distance. So I'm not going to lose this guy off in space. So I'm just going to leave him going. I'm pretty sure if I get out and put my drill on, I can show you that there's magnesium in here somewhere. It's a very small, yeah, there is. It's a very small, cute little asteroid. And if I'd known about it before I needed magnesium, I might have used this as some sort of outpost. But since I didn't, I'm just going to eat the whole thing, which is unfortunate. So I'm going to let this guy go. I might go back and get some more oxygen. I've set some tanks to be built, but they can't be finished until I have a bit more magnesium. And then I won't have to keep doing this whole dying not having oxygen stuff, because it's really kind of annoying. But okay, so you're gonna cut back to here once there's enough stuff going on here, enough magnesium collected, enough iron, that things will continue getting built. So we'll be back in a second when this guy's got all the resources I want, and then we'll keep on doing some stuff. We will be blowing up the inside of the chamber, and then we're putting in the reactors and the batteries. So I will see you in a second after this is done. I'm just going to stay here and maybe go AFK until I die, and then I'll come back. So I will see you in a second. Okay, so it wasn't actually even long enough to die, so I'm going to go ahead and move the ship back. We've got about 200 kilograms of iron and roughly the same of magnesium. I've kind of destroyed this poor little asteroid, but it's fault for having magnesium in it anyway. So let's go back to the base and blow some stuff up. Or actually, I guess we're blowing our own base up, which is never really a good thing. So I'm going to set us at a reasonable drift over here, and then hope that I can make it back there before I die. It'd be really good if I could, and even better if I could actually plug in before then. Although now I realise it, I think that ship that's attached hasn't got any reactor, because I took it out for the sake of this ship. And I don't know that I can move it, so I might have to actually physically extend the connection before I'm able to plug the ship in. Let's just go ahead and try and get closer before I die, and make sure the inertial dampers are turned on. Okay, I know about that. There we go. This is a bit of a... Okay, no, I'm dead. I'll just fly back here now, and I may even cut back to when I'm gone ahead and sorted myself out. Okay, back alive, sorted. I really should sort out the oxygen thing. I've been talking about it for a long time, and it's annoying because I actually did sort out the oxygen thing, and my own hate for poorly designed spaceships and poorly designed... Well, this is an asteroid base, I guess. Made me destroy it. So, oh well. I will sort out oxygen before the end of this episode, I promise. Although I guess we haven't got long left. Not that I restrict myself, but just that, no, I don't think anyone wants to sit down and watch me play Space Engineers for an hour. I'm always surprised that half an hour works. Okay, let's pull this in before I lose any viewers. Let's put this to the side. And, well, even though I think the connector port is actually at the back, so I may as well reverse it a little bit. I'm not a great pilot. So let's plug in, and this will allow the station to pull out all of our resources. I should make a recharging station. Well, this is one of the things I plan to make in the future, actually. This dock is kind of only temporary, this way of docking, because I don't find it the best situation, just having a little tiny pinpoint to back your huge ship into. But I'd like to make a more complicated, more interesting, more effective dock, and have different kinds of docks. Docks where you'll have all of your resources drained out and your ship recharged and so on, or docks where it's just for recharging, or wireless power. Lots of interesting things that I'd like to put in, but that I simply can't right now because we're still working up to the stage for a lot of stuff. But for now this works. This guy's gonna like pull everything out without any respect for what I may or may not want to keep in the ship, and that's fine because really I've only got ores to be processed. It shouldn't take my uranium ingots. But I don't know about that, because I know that last time I used this ship, it was empty of uranium ingots, and I can't remember whether that's something I did by choice or something that just happened without me agreeing to it. So there you go. Let's lock up the ship, and now I can just check the inventories. They should be emptying. Everything apart from the uranium should be emptying. Yes, it's going down. The stone's not the thing I really want to go first, though. I want the magnesium out first. Gosh, it's quite slow to transfer, but it must be going now, and I'll just leave it going. And then we'll just come over here and check out how things are going. So here are the refineries, and I can just check inside, actually. I could have accessed any control panel would have done. So let's go on our refineries inventories. And theoretically, once we're past the refineries that are specifically for uranium, we should get to... So look, they're not filtered. I was hoping that these ones would all be filtered by now, and they're not. I thought I set them up correctly, and apparently I didn't. So I'm going to have to do some work on fixing this problem, because like I was saying earlier, these are only supposed to be doing one kind of material each. And I don't really know, if you've got an idea at home, let me know, but I don't really know how this is happening. Because unless there's access ports on the sides, the top is filtered in and it should only let one thing in, and the bottom is filtered out, so it should only let things outwards, not inwards. So theoretically, none of these should have anything but what I want them to have in them. All the ports should be blocked with filters, and I don't know why the filters aren't working, because I can even move things freely between these things. So they're not even preventing outward motion or inward motion in the ways they're supposed to. Like if I go ahead and access an inventory for any of these assemblers, this is a refinery. If I go ahead and access the inventory for any of these refineries, I can move anything between any of them. And that just doesn't seem to make sense to me, because even if I'd got it a little bit wrong, I shouldn't be able to do that, right? There's only one out and only one in, so there shouldn't be any way of moving things between them. So I'll do a little bit of investigation about what's happening there, but it certainly is annoying. It was this guy was missing. So when I did the changes, I went ahead and took out all these guys so that I could put the new filters in, and that one was missing. And this still doesn't explain why I wasn't able to prevent these from all filtering different things, or rather from not filtering different things. But it does explain why I couldn't get this to work. So now these guys have magnesium, or rather there was magnesium in there, and now all these resources are coming through, and now theoretically some of these guys should be making me some explosives. So I'm going to go ahead and check the explodey thing over there, otherwise known as an explosive, and see whether it's working. It's actually not, which is interesting and annoying. Maybe if I just quickly update it, it'll think that I want it built faster. If not, I'm going to go ahead and get those explosives manually, because they must be building them now. The magnesium is in the system. Okay, great. So we should be able to go make an explosion happen now, which is not usually a thing you want to do in your base, and maybe it's going to go horribly wrong, and maybe it won't achieve what I'm hoping for. But hey, you know, he who fails to try tries to fail, or something like that. Let's go for it. Let's set it to a 3-second countdown, and we're going to go ahead and run away. I hope I turned it. Okay, that was a lot bigger than I was expecting. I was going to say I hope I turned the safety off, and I mean clearly I did. Let's go ahead and blow some more stuff up. There's going to be a few of these. I'm going to give it a bigger timer this time, and hopefully if I place it down, it will be able to complete. I won't have any explosives on me, but maybe it'll complete it for me. I don't know why it would complete the explosive rather than any of the metal blocks beneath it, but I think I see nanites, so there we go, it's working. Much bigger explosion than I was actually expecting. Did a bit of a bigger hole than I was actually expecting as well. So we're gonna have, maybe it's gonna be bit of a weird placement of our reactors, but this is what I was after, so you know, no time to regret things now. Okay, let's start with the next explosion. I'm gonna go ahead for maybe 6, and then that's gonna hopefully not kill me, but I don't want to miss the explosion either. Great, that's good. And then we're just gonna keep going like this. It's a shame we can't harvest all this iron. Like, you should theoretically be able to blow stuff up and then harvest the iron afterwards, but all I can get is the scrap. Maybe that's a thing for the developers, which I don't think they watch, but if they were watching, I'd suggest that we should be able to dynamite mine. We should be able to blast holes in rock and then pick up the rock that fires out. But that's for, I guess, another day. So, let's keep blowing stuff up. I'm going to go ahead and finish this. I might give you a montage of me blowing stuff up. But, or I'll show you the whole thing. We'll see whether I keep talking or not. If I don't keep talking, you'll see a montage. Okay, that should be the last explosion. Hopefully it hasn't blown through to the surface. No, it hasn't. Good. So, this is where we're going to take our reactors up to. They are all these explosions are all on the exact same axis, which means all of these sort of puncture wounds, or, well, I guess they're explosion radiuses. All of these are on the same level. I should really have counted the number of blocks between each explosion, and then I would have had these ridges all in the same places, or even completely eliminated, so it was a perfectly smooth spherical tube. But I like it how it is right now. The unfortunate thing is I'm not sure how far I could really push it beyond here. This was my measure for... I put this little GPS spot here, and then I went outside and stood, and I could get, like, touching the rock, I was 200 meters away from it, I think, or actually maybe that's just a bit out in space. So I mean, there's quite far until I reach space, but I don't want to push it. Maybe I'll put one more explosion in. Maybe it's worth trying. I don't know. I might actually. Yeah, okay, let's give it a go. Let's put another explosion in. Okay, here we are. Let's set this one off, and then I think we're good to go. Hopefully this won't blow a hole in the wall. Turn the safety off, start the counter, and then run. We should be safe-ish here. All right, there we go. Are we in space? No, good. I think the stone is the very edge of space. I think once we get past the stone, we would be in space. So I'm definitely going to leave it here. I get a bit over ambitious and I'm like, hey, we can just keep blowing stuff up. But no, we should stop here. I'm going to go ahead and clear out all of this light armor stuff. Okay, and let's leave it there. Let's take it to there. And then we're going to put in a bunch of reactors. Now, it's a shame that there's no bigger reactors because it would be really cool to have this whole area filled with huge reactors. But the large reactors are fine. Do we want to start here or do you want to start a bit higher up? Let me just have a check. Maybe we're going to start a little bit higher up just for the sake of having a little bit of distance between our reactor area and the shipbuilding area. And we'll probably have a door that goes in between both of them, a very large door. Or maybe just one very small door, we'll see. Okay, they're going to go from here. And I'm just going to keep going up in a straight line. Well, if I can keep clicking in the right time. There we go. Another one. And we'll just see how many I can get. Great. Well, that's all of the reactors that I can fit in here. And then I'm thinking that what I want is a huge amount of batteries. So I'm probably going to first encase... It's a shame I haven't got a symmetrical building in non-creative. But I'm going to encase this guy in sort of like a tube, like going out from here. I don't know why I put so much emphasis into the word tube. I'm going to put a tube going out here, like so. And then there's going to be access on every level so that you can access every reactor. Actually, you know what? It'd be sensible to not have the tube block reactor ports. Really, it should start here and be on this level. And I think that's what I'm going to do, actually. Just so that I will be able to access all of their ports. It happens sometimes that you need to get into the inside of a reactor. So I'll probably have it go from underneath, like so. There we go. And then it's going to continue upwards. And I'll have it come back in between, like maybe on a, what are they called? Maybe on a steel catwalk. Maybe not just floating on its own, but maybe on a steel catwalk that comes out from there. Just so that I can access all of the ports. Yeah, that works. And maybe even actually I'll just put it on one side or even, yeah. We'll see, but basically that's going to be it. There's going to be a tube here, and then if we just take this one out as well so that we can get a sort of view of the whole thing, like so. And we take this guy out. Okay, here, and yeah, it's definitely going to be here because this makes it this is the center point of the explosions. So I'm going to just check that I can see up the wall. I might have to start it here because of the original cavern wasn't actually in this position. I've moved it out with explosives. The bottom bit is a little bit narrower than the rest. So I'm going to drag this guy out too and just make sure that... Oh, need steel plates. Well, I'm going to go scavenge them. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Hopefully that's... Okay, good. There we go. Okay, great. So now I have some steel plates. I'm going to take this guy out to here. And I'm going to do some block counting to make sure that this is adequately symmetrical, as I'm not a huge fan of completely unsymmetrical stations. I mean, unsymmetrical with intent is okay, but unsymmetrical by stupidity is not, in my opinion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, there you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not that I won't be... oh, God. Here's what I always confuse, right? Did I count 6 from the bottom of this or from the front of it? 1, 2, 3, 4... Okay, yeah, it's from the front of it. So it should be 6 to here, and then I should be placing here. Great. And I'll take this one out before I confuse myself. I was going to say, not that I am not capable and very, very likely to do unsymmetrical things by the fact of pure stupidity. Something I do quite a lot, actually. So, next up, we want to have some batteries along the walls here. And I'm going to have a lot of batteries because I want this station to be able to survive completely on solar panels and have the reactors mainly as a backup. So let's go ahead and put these up as high as we can go. Like so. Okay, that's the absolute top. So, what I think I'll do is finish the placement of all of these. I'll need to fix my resource system first. And we'll probably see them at the start of the next episode. But this is what it's going to be. We're going to have this lovely column of reactors in the middle and then all the batteries on the outside. And this will be our huge power storage area. And I'll probably put in some glass going over this bit here, and there'll be a separation, I don't know why I said it quite like that. There'll be a separation between the reactor area, the power area, and also the ship production area, and I'm guessing at some point we'll put something in here, something that curves around and makes this a bit more sensical. So that is the power situation good. At some point soon I'll chop this out and we'll have access to all of these resources to put into these reactors, and I'll have to bring around, I may even completely move the uranium processing area here. But now that this is in place, we're going to have to just start putting in solar panels to allow the charging of these batteries, and after that though we'll be in a really good position in our asteroid, which is one of the things I wanted to have. I wanted to make sure that our home base was really well powered, which we will have now soon. I also need to clean up this crap, this last chip that I harvested. But I'm not going to do that right now. I will do it as I'm talking though. So, the last thing that we need to do in this episode is... Right, I mean, that's a bit nicer. I'm trusting our nanites to pick up all the material because I couldn't bother to get it myself. Last thing I want to do in this episode is make a hacking computer and take it over to the ship we captured so that I can process it. So, I don't know why I'm dumping all that stuff in there, but it'll do anyway. We need to go to production, and assembler 2 will probably work. And we'll make maybe 3 hacking computers. I actually can't find them on the block list. That's interesting. I've had a big long scroll. Maybe I'm being stupid, but they're not there. I'm guessing some modded blocks, just they've forgotten to put them in the right place. Weird. Okay, well, I'll have a look at what hacking blocks take, and then I'll just build that stuff manually. Okay, actually, in the end, I ground out one of our reactors, one of our main reactors, because we're going to be switching soon. We don't need all those reactors, and we need the superconductors for these hacking computers. The reason I'm building them here, by the way, is because it's actually easier for me to build them and have the nanites make the stuff I need and put the stuff I need in than it is to go through all my systems and collect the stuff. So I'll put them here, I'll wait for them to be built up, and then I'll grind them out. So we missed just computers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and grind these out. Let me just check that my inventory's full. Empty, rather. All right. I also may have died in between. That's going to happen sometimes. I'm still waiting on fixing my system so that I can make all of the tools necessary to make oxygen, or rather resources necessary to make oxygen. Yes, it's not a perfect situation, and I'm going to keep complaining about it every single time I die because it really does bother me, you know? It's such a waste. Okay, let's head over there and pick up our ship. So it's still got a gun on it, and that's because I didn't take the time to bash the other gun off. I only bashed the gun off the side where I need to approach, and after that I figure I'd let the hacking computers do it, but I do need to bash the gun off because if I don't, then the ship's going to start shooting itself when it starts changing over to me. So let's get there first. Okay, here is a little bugger, and he's shooting at me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grind off something that's got computers in it, and then use those for making my hacking computer. So let's just head in and up. Stupid. Okay, I may have died several times due to stupidity. I really need to make a little runabout. I realized one of the big reasons, apart from my own idiocy, that I keep dying is because I have no ship. I keep flying into things with my body and thinking that's going to be fine. I need to build a ship and also stop being an idiot. What's shooting me? Oh, I know what's shooting me. There's a little gun over there. That's why we need the hacking computers. So let's go ahead and put one down, and we'll leave that to do its work. I did lose my special grinder, so we'll be using a very slow one. That's fine. Ah, I can be shot there. Let's put the hacking computer here. So we only missed 78 computers. I guess I'll only be building one because there's a lot. This will need a lot of computers. Okay, it needed one pilot's chair worth of computers. Let's head on up here. All right, now, to my understanding, this guy will start working through the ship systems and transferring them to me, right? That's how it works. So some of these things I'd already made my own, like the medical room and stuff like that. I did that manually. I don't know how I'll be able to tell if this thing's actually doing its work, but I mean, I guess it does. I downloaded the mod, by the way, not because I'm too lazy to go and grind things down, although I actually am. I downloaded it because the nanite factory doesn't sometimes give you ownership. Actually, I think this place might be out of power. It doesn't sometimes give you ownership of things that you justifiably do have ownership of. So I wanted to be able to... Are there any oxygen tanks in here? I wanted to be able to have a bunch of hacking computers that work on my station and make sure that when the nanite builds something, that thing is automatically converted over to me. I figured it was a good way of solving that problem. There we go. No, there aren't. Okay, I kind of thought there might be, but never mind. What I should do is actually rebuild this, which I can't because I've run out of computers now. I'm going to rebuild the chair and move this guy into the light. I may even bash off the gun at the back, which is going to cause me issues if I don't anyway. So there we go. Let me do some bashing with this guy. Wow, this guy's really out of power. Okay, so I won't be able to do anything with this guy until I put some fuel in it, but I don't think I can do that even until... I don't think I can do that even until I've made the reactor mine. So, well, if it's dead, the gun shouldn't be working anymore. So I'm going to go grind off the gun. Although, if I'm being shot by these guys, I'm not anymore. Alright, that's a relief. Let me go out and get rid of that gun. Hey, what do you know? A ship still maintains its gun even when it's running out of power. So I tell you what, I'll handle that on another day. I think that's good for now. So I'm really happy with the inside of our base, how it's coming along. I like a lot this little bay area, but I need to take out this, and this does need a lot of work actually. In hindsight, I'd much rather have a few more slopes going down here. I'd like to fix this area because it's thoroughly broken, this system. But hey, the system works. It's just not working the way I wanted it to. It refines and it refines well, but I need it to refine more specifically. So this thing needs fixing as well. I'd like to make a smoother transition over here, but for now it's okay. It'll do the job. And let's just go and have a look at this area before we finish. Yeah, okay, I love this area too, this little outcropping. Like I said, I'm going to connect it to the back of the station. I'll get the arms working in between this episode and the next. And then we'll have this as our little deconstruction area. I much prefer this to the previous one, the big sticking out thing. I found the sticky out arm thing a bit weird. So this is much better. It's a little bit more organic to the station, and I think it looks a lot nicer. And then finally, let's nip over to... I'm getting a lot of lag, I'm really sorry. Let's nip over to the reactors area and just have a last look at that as well. Up, don't die. There we go. Okay, so this is going to be our new power area. I think some of the reactors have probably started picking up some resources. I haven't got my welder, so I'll just check with a grinder. Yeah, look, they just need superconductors, stuff like that. Stuff I'll need to get resources for, but otherwise they will be fine pretty soon, and I'll grind out those other reactors and put in these other batteries. But there we go. I'm quite happy with this area, and I think it'll look really great when it's finished. I'll just have to put in the extra stuff, and we'll be good to go. I may even put in a second layer of reactors, but we'll see how much power this place really needs and how much the batteries can really do for it. So I think we'll end it there. Thank you very much for watching. I'm sorry if this episode was a bit hectic. I'm still getting back into the swing of things for Let's Playing. Otherwise, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you have, don't forget to like and subscribe, and leave a comment below if you've got any ideas, questions or suggestions. Thank you very much for watching. This has been Gesture of None, and I will see you next time.